never I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Abusha eja enya ba eja eya ba eja beba abrewa nya bidu abrewa be lande finally abusha global info analytics for report abba the final report ye make can say eno na ebe lead to NPP Flagbearer race you better have on next week 31st December abetodwa enti if me can say you be can say global info analytics researcher or ye ni post or conduct no say enam ni kwan mu dia na ye ene ye ntie na ebehu the finals of finals nipa definitely nyame eya adomo by the 31st December ento ankusi say enyunu bejo no na ono ane ama ne nsa so say oye flag bearer of the NPP abusha Musa Dankwa ena wabekasa wade ato we say final said the 2024 elections no sa pepepe en wase aye na me pese ye ko na afi ye ko tie enkomo no said ye isi ekọ ye said be ya obi abete no wase PENDREAM TV so ni abusua next also be subscribe to the channel, like video no share to other platforms more soon to be Wadwin Chiribia, Fato comment section. I say, Anne, Wadwin Chiribia, Musu or prediction. Fato comment section. I say, before say a beba no abeka and san wabeka so make omega ubwa. Fato comment section. No, I say, you share. Na say, Yamea Dum 31st, a buswa, Ebeka say, yes, you who's also so no, Oka an album. Anne, Abusha. Yanko Emra Sisia, Mr. Subscribing Emwa Ejumano.
Hi, good evening. Within the Musa Dankwa of Global Info Analytics, and now 23rd January 2026. The last poll now on MPP primary no, and then Tuja. Until I may be briefly near my home, and near my expect to say ABC and next Saturday. Quickly, Yanko. Nienshe nipa hina inomu din kita ho yeni nipa be 10,100 ene din kita ho ewo Ghana hanyina around in all the 16 regions no and across 274 out of 276 constituencies and a random course on a course a course between 29th December and 23rd January yeni nipa be system kind 10,000 din kita ho na ewie no ekoni sen die ne yehu one yen starting free omo ebisa omo say omo share the view said say MPPD obi call bear twice eboa ma party ni win election na yes yeah bisa that question no nipa MPP for 45% say ampa omo for so say they be call twice ebeboa ama party no win power. But almost see there be omni sankophone nyadwino 23%. Almost see there be omni sankophone nyadwin. But 32% there almost see there omni ha almost omni ha. They are in between, omni neutral. Now, you share favorability rating, and in the sense say, some say, oh, as much see uhunu favorably and uhunu unfavorably. You be sa omono. Oma say favorably for Baumia net no 93%. Oma say Ken nya 85%. Brian nya 6%. And 83% say Educhum for Educhum and 85 again for Brian. To be one Baumia was through compared to Kennedy Japan. And in fact recently who say Brian Champon abetra Kennedy in terms of favorability rating and nya batwo favorability rating. It means say something is happening around Brian Champon. Now, if you say, nipa person be obodi MPP no depend on person who on pakono ho nipa kono so ban ben na so on for obi a obetumi awini abano ama MPP and near 23%. and 17% say almost will be or care about grassroots no 17%. And 16% say will be able to make this about change about NPP mo 16%. And I say will be over United Party no belly or the party be kabum or my party na kabum 16%. And I trustworthy on Majinity 11%. Humble no hoju 8%. Other factors are young mom 7%. And a fighter will be that who could drew with me up to MPP 2%. Now, if you say about one on between the same 48% say on Betuama Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, 48%. And 25% say on Betu Ama Canadian Japan. But 6% say on Betuama Brian, and 1% say the Chum. But a 21% say Omunim and so Omon country, so 21%. The MPP about Tanamokotuno, the Behiana say we 50% plus 1. At the moment, Baumia or 48%. In the account of 2 pair. No one 50% plus 1. Kennedy obey here a lot. Would the 21 no na a Canadian Hokrana obey 46 still behind Baumia runoff. But it is very unlikely runoff the Emma because maybe Baumia Ginano is very likely say obey 50 and above. A better catcher will tell you at the end no what we expect say Baumia Benya. Now Oba regions no. Baumia LED in all the regions except Ashanti, Ashanti, Central region and the Voter region, and Kennedy LED or the Kennedy LED or Voter region and Central region. Now, if you saw say Ubia nya mark no 50 plus 1 near Koran of between the same. If you saw no, a move 51 say Baumia, 26 say Kennedy, but 23% say Omo disclose. Until on this one, people who say Baumia already is on 51%. So this is the reason why I can say reason no second round because we have seen a lot from the data. Now, if you saw a question, we make I have the neighbors effect. We be who are on country also on opportunity, but we be make ourselves now that we there opportunity and opportunity. You be a friend of neighbors effect. If you saw say why now we doing say we now for our delegate on better man. If you saw no, in why I buy and say almost see. Oma ti say no for and enough for better Baumeno 62%. Ken 32%. Brian 5%. Educhum 1%. And Kobnaja Japan near 0. Inti Omo dream say Omo number for no on better Baumia by 62%. But 32 say Omo you say Omo number for better Kennedy. 5 say Brian. So Oma being the outcome is still alliance. Baumia is still leading on that score. Now, you share Omo to about 2023 no. Omo to the same. Omo to ma Baumia no 81% to Amanabium, but 9% every Baumia ho echo Ken ho, and 6% move Baumia ho echo Brian, but 4% is there on the Omo country. Uba Ken for a move 11% go Baumia chain. 11%, which means Baumia lose 9, but Ken lose 11. Into Baumia 3% advantage. 81% are Mutuma Ken, almost out of money, but 5% are Mutuma Ken, Omoko Brian, and 3% say Omi undecided. We share Omotuma died in Monua, 20% echo Baumia Hope, 40% echo Kennedy, and 40% echo Brian. Omotuma Dr. Freya Kotuk, Omunina very few say Ombetuama, Dr. Yaw, say Educhum. But Oman Twaba, for one reason or the other, Oman delegate, Oman Twaba last 2 years, no. Omono 48% say Ombetuama Baumia, 23 say Ombetuama Kennedy, 2 say Brian Champon, and 27 say they will not disclose on Omon country. Now, we share the qualities, no one so Omope will be a Hojo trustworthy no. Why now Tuma? Obia Omam Kasi Ompe humble people no. A most 67 say Ombetuama Baumia. 21 say Ombetu Ama Kennedy. The Omu feel say Baumia a humble. That's why Omotumano. Uba trustworthy. Omam see trustworthy here. Emu 45 Etuma Baumia and 32 Etuma Kennedy. And also to say still Baumia is trusted than Kennedy. Oshia or a fighter or yes, I don't know, Kennedy over 62% and Baumia 25%. Well, we need to be a fighter there, Mr. Kennedy, no dispute. And then can bring change. Will be about million such about party in the more now minimum. Kennedy 26%, Baumia 51%. So Baumia is leading on somebody who can bring change. Somebody who cares for the grassroots. I know a bit surprising the crowd. I don't know Baumia 42%, Kennedy 30%. Now, me say AB or Hono Kennedy Bewini, but still Kennedy is behind on those who care, who think they want someone who can care for the grassroots. Obia Obetme win, somebody who can win. Baumia 47%, Ken 24%. And you know, almost feel say Baumia can still win than Kennedy. And as somebody who can unite the party, Baumia 45%, and Ken 16%. So you can see say on all those factors, no, I think Baumia has advantage according to the polling numbers. Now, when you na share and share contact room and beside who say into about when you got to that day no a beco sin a basic saying Melco you know why na a winning. It was GD said Baumia will still win. And we are expecting to say Obenya around 57%, about 4% lower than the Onya last time no, or drop by 4% from the model na no. But Kennedy, I'll drop from 37 Onya last time no, to 28. A swati, ni vote na infana koye enipia. Brian Champion 13%. Brian vote ni na 4% every Baumia ho. They are canning na every Kennedy ho. In the Kennedy, lose vote to Brian Achampon. And now Adichum 2%. Inti Motia and then you read Wayne de Bremo to understand the Ecoso our NPP race no more. Yadamasi.
So abusafo we de wanimwa ane so ochiamia onim na asamka wase nana we de wanimwa ane abusa ayehu meka sa ayehu we daddy luma nyumo se ayehu ayehu ankasa obi ni yam film. Yes, we a post. And a post. A nipano, no so acquire, meaning post be so aba. A bimoso chile a honorable Canada Japan, or no any bishop dear nim. But post their credibility accounted ye pa. The credible people are a tap post nechi in here. You know, say for some time now, a year Musa Dankwa on global info analytics for they have proven to be credible as far as polls conducted is concerned. Our Ghana, they have done it in 2020. They did it in 2024. I'm a Ghana for in fact. Both presidential and parliamentary. It is so far so good for global info analytics. Na akadiaka, radio na mekain a post. Then akasa form hofono. Se omudi osi ebeye oyo. Se die ye from bisa omoni ni omo kaye no. Se ebe take effect. Se ombe diso. Nyame on the 31st December because nipa de na adwen etumi sesa Ghana we dey sika kura tumi sesa obi adwen obi tumi sa ekoye fence meka na sempo o sai ko refill ne tank na enyoma sa sesa enti Yena ye wa tweniem yena ye wa tweniem ye hwe se eye Baumia eye Kennedy eye Brian Achampon ana se eye Adichum ana se eye fence Kobna Ajia Japan why na eba be emerge as NPP Flagbearer abusia ɔde asɛm wei ɛbɛto hɔnom no nipa bi so ɛkɔ mu n'anim ɛkɔ bisa no questions bi a ɛfa ɛyɛ nea ɔde bɛto hɔnom na ɔsa biebie mu ɔkɔ n'anim sa kɔ biebie mu biem ɛkyerɛ some secret bi ɛne ɛho nyɔma yes ɔbie mu ankasa details bi a ɛho bɛhia sɛ yɛn nyinaa yɛbɛsan akɔ na yɛakɔtie na aboa yɛnkɔ na yɛnkɔtie ɛyɛ Musa Dankwa biem ɛwɔ saa questions amanfoɔ ɛde bisa no ho.
Hi, good morning and welcome to Global Info Analytics. My name is Musa Dankwa. Today is 24th of January 2026 and I released yesterday the explanation to the poll we conducted on the NPP primaries. And someone sent a message to me privately asking some relevant questions, and I felt I should come and explain some of those things to you here. First question was regarding the sampling, the regional sampling, how the sampling was done. So I'm going to give you a bit of breakdown of the sampling approach to the NPP delegates. I'm going to be releasing extra today to show you the sample that we deployed across the various regions. Excuse me. Now, Accra has the highest sample of 2011, followed by Ashanti region 1,759, Eastern region 1,071, Central 897, Western 692, Northern region 622, Volta 522, Upper East 395, Upper West 394, Bono 392, Bono East 330, Western North 266, OT 220, Savannah 187, Northeast 179, and Ahafo 177. So these are the sampling deployment across the region, so that it represents how the NPP delegates are spread across the country. So the more you get, it means the more delegates that you have in the region. In terms of percentages, we're giving it out about 19.9, Greater Accra 17.4, Ashanti region 10.6, Eastern region 8.9, Central region 6.8, Western region 6.1, Northern region 5.2, Volta region 3.9, Upper East 3.9, Upper West Bono 3.9, Bono East 3.3, Western North 2.6, OT 2.2, Savannah 1.8, Northeast 1.8, and half around 1.8. So the samples are well spread and proportional to the respondents or the delegates that we have. Now, let's look at the issues the person raised. First, one, we've dealt with it, the regional breakdown of the sample. Second, he said we indicated that Bawumia is projected to win 57% of the vote. However, the poll results you present show him at 48%. I would appreciate it if you could explain how the final projections of 57 was derived from the polling data. Now, we have back-end data that we have used. What we did was that we analyzed the responses of voters who are saying that they will not disclose and they are undecided. We wanted to get a guide as to how these guys could vote. So we went back to look at how they responded to the question of whether they share the idea that bringing someone for the second time helps or not. So we did that analysis comprehensively, and what we find is that, look, majority of the people who are undecided or not disclosing are neutral about that question. It means they're neither for it nor against it. But for those who are for the second chance, about 22% of those people say that they are not disclosing. He's not disclosing who he intends to vote for. But 22% of them agree that bringing someone second time helps. That's among those who are undecided. And only 13% disagreed. So if you look at this analysis, it shows that clearly, if you exclude those who are neutral, majority of people who are undecided, by almost 2-1, agree with the notion that bringing somebody second time help that person, the party to win. So it means that it is more likely there are more people who would vote for Bawumia in this undecided than voting for Kennedy. That's what it means. Now, for those who are not disclosing, 18% of them believe that yes, bringing someone second time helps. Only 14% say disagree. So it is more probable that those who agree are more likely to be Bawumia supporters or voters, even though he says he will not disclose. And 14% of them are sure Ken voters. The question is about those who are neutral. So this is analysis that we use to be able to break down the numbers and then do the prediction that we did. Now, if those who disagree were a lot, then you can conclusively say that yes, Kennedy will get more of them. At the moment, they are not. Those who disagree and they are not disclosing are only 14%. But those who disagree but are not disclosing are 18%. So by 4 percentage points, they outnumber those who disagree. The question is, how do you allocate those who are saying that they are neutral about it? When somebody is neutral, is neither for it nor against it, and that is very important because it could determine how they end up voting. Now, when we looked at the data overall, using other metrics, we found that there were about 2,155 people who were either undecided or not disclosing. And we've found a way to kind of go into their head and see what is it that they would do. Now, if you look at the what we call the rule percentage, among those who are saying that I am undecided, if you look at their number, there's a total of about 1,163 people, delegates, who said they are undecided. But those who are not disclosing is 992. So in this data, there are more people who are undecided, who are more likely to be Bawumia supporters than Kennedy supporters. But for those who can have advantage over not disclosing, that number is lower. So the effect you want to see will not be there. So overall, what we did was that we did some calculation and modeling. And what we found was that about 45% of those who are not disclosing their vote will end up voting for Kennedy. But 35% may vote for Bawumia. But Brian is taking about 22%. Those who say they will not disclose, we have realized that some of them, about 22%, are going to Kennedy. Before that, a big chunk of this not disclosed were not going for Brian, but for Kennedy. But as Brian progresses, or as Brian numbers go up, Kennedy numbers come down. So you can see that Brian is on higher level than he would have otherwise been. It's because we've realized that a lot of people who were saying undecided or not disclosing for Kennedy and towards shifting towards Brian. And that's the reason why you don't see what you were expecting to see, because the numbers have kind of shifted in the last few days of the campaign. Again, look, no two elections are the same. 2023 elections were different from now. And sometimes people may have a feeling that this should be a better election for Kennedy. But remember, Kennedy is competing in the same regions with Brian Achampong. And that is a problem Kennedy has. Thank you very much. Hi, good morning, and welcome to Global Info Analytics. Find is that, look, majority of the people who are undecided or not disclosing are neutral about that question.
For Musa Dankwa and Yakofa ne explanations into ne post no, and as a Global Info Analytics post on my NPP or more Flagbearer race no de abano enti said the midi kan no also so what drink be a faculty comment section no ase emayen mama edano nso wie no abeka kire say oh so kan there be say yebehu say wo nso so uyo obi a also can a bum and also a strategic and also why your research part of our comment section as a FMI before 31st December. A bay yes engage. A bay yes engage. Tu tietie mudia na bibia chere Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and the former flag bearer for NPP or ahead of Kennedy Japan and also ahead of a year Brian Champon were ahead of Adichum and also ahead of Kobna Japan. It is a Bibia Echirimu as a Ansha say never corner dia say never corner dia medical case post dia a post a adventure adventure but as to say a corner said there was a corner no I just say D-Day no because D-Day no crampo no nyoma to me sisi a binum to me disika wuram on the D-Day ma ubi adwen sa a binum to me the achedia hodo minim NPP Congress amakwa na say election makwa o mbe free election asia abafie no na ebi eso TV obi ekura moto ebi ekura fence emo box ebi kuta yi krantie ebi mukuta bentoa chese bibia bi especially uko kontinase side hon mo kontinase say je manage bentoa hon bentoa NPP delegates e wo kontinase bentoa o manage ho papa because say kwan no futuro nti futuro na e wo kwan nti o bukodura am pe bibi e dey wash inside nti bentoa e mo fa eni agro what you say yes nti abusia 31st December be ye gidi enye fa di agro 31st December yati krom ha ye na e bom pa ye twen na mum delegates amutie ye besra mo no entokwa me makache o mampenyi John Dramani Mahama say NPP ni bi nim no okotwetuo e de boni nua okotwe sikan de ko wo obi ko fa ba de bo obi tirim ko sai nyoma ye nchiri ntum ye njeli no mi enka so mo ye NPP fo nti ye nja o mo obi anya ne ope debi ye nya ne saa ye hu bi da 2016 obra no mo koto ma ba meka 2015 mo 2015 for 2014 2015 o mo koto ma ba kwasi asema isisi ye ntokwa isisi ye esikantwetwe etuo tutuo e komunipa mukum mo regional minister regional chairman ekum youth organizer e wase chese kwasi asem kwa na NDC for yesi baabi ni yehwe because NPP for ntini yesre yeni age tama yeni ba ye ho so no na enkrofo no e de saa attack no e de abaye so yeni ba ye ho so no na saa attack no na omo abe pudi aguye so because time isi ye no ya ambra ya anka o man hye ya punish omo ti saa enkrofo na we more empowered moba power crop de na gia gukura enne ma ye call ayawa so wagon no omukọ buye say yi the whole MP Sam George near bonusum tire adentra because ono opposition crump no or bro amanfo kuma amanfo e de acid gunipa kun omo ya anya ne hwe obi anche no obi anya na hwe ya anya omo hwe na ono aba power no abesha the opponent anye waso kura no obetware obi antimi nya ne hwe ampa enne double mo nam ho obi antimi nya omo hwe because time no yes ansem hunu no nank you work to me you work power at that time 2014-15 you work power and you to me ede mra eni omadi ama omo hu se da bi mra okrom ha ya yɛsere yɛtɛ nkwankyɛn baabi ɛne yɛ so gya asɔ yɛ atamfo fie yee ne ani agye yee gya na asɔ no na yɛnim sɛ mframa bɛtumi abɔ ama gya no ebi ato abɛtɔ yɛ fie enti ma yɛmfa nni agorɔ this time around ma yɛmfa nni agorɔ this time around sɛ NPP ni bi nim ɛyɛ abatoɔ ne yɛkɔ akɔto kɔkyerɛ w'adwen mo de ni mo firi tete kɔkyerɛ w'adwen ɛyɛ abatoɔ wokɔ na baumia na wopɛ na akɔtoma no Kennedy Japan akɔtoma no Brian fɛn sɛn aduchum Komna Japan na wopɛ na kɔto waba pɛpɛpɛ fama no pie firi hɔ wobɛ ompia twɛn kɔpem sɛ mobɛto awie na mo nyina magyina no makenkan na afei no obi kɔtwitwi sikan akɔ wɔ ne nua akɔ botuo ɛwɔ hɔ showdown I remember obi showed this time there wouldn't be any showdown wo be showdown mmara so be showdown as simple as that yeah ma ho kwan yeah so saa nsɛm hunu no so Ghana ye kɔ yɛ nim baabi a Ghana aduru no ɔmampanyini Mahama sɛ it is time to reset Ghana yɛ reset ama na set yɛ abatoɔ mu nyinaa no ɛwɔ sɛ ɛdan so reset no ɛwɔ sɛ ɛduru hɔ abatoɔ nyɛ ntɔkwa kɔ America yɛto abakora mpa wonhu wonte obi akora mpa mfa ho wadi bɛba nso ne ato aba wie that is what we want yɛpɛ sɛ democracy no ɛkɔ n'anim bɛɛ kakra na wiase nyinaa ɛbɔ yaba so wiase nyinaa kasa ɛbɛbɔ Ghana din afra European countries ne ɛfɛn sɛ America ne ho ade ɛbɛbɔ yɛdi afra sɛ yes yɛte democracy ase abatoɔ yɛ adwenkyerɛ abatoɔ nyɛ ntɔkwa abatoɔ nyɛ krono manko fa ballot box bi nko bubu no nko sɛ no nko tu jangu ba debi obiara nyɛ fair everybody should be fair ye ma ho kwan ma fairness nya adwuma NPP for mo nhwɛ na mo make sure say periperi ye be ya adwuma tina maniji ho senti Kennedy Japan call ya mokɔ san Peace Park no ono ye na adwen say there be match number 2 no on ani nje ho adenti na wo say ukɔ Peace Park na wo twro mu say nipa no say in case say abato no ekoyi ankoyi onjintum saying adenti and also jitum ankoyi ama onjintum eni kwan se obi crumple emma abato no enkoyi adenti na abato no eni kwan se koyi e wo se koyi ekoto aba e wo se abato no ekoyi enti abusuafo mesre emra police for e wo Ghana ha the security of that affairs election eshamonsa mo make sure say bibia afa ne kwan so emra kwan so ma obi ani mu asam ne jimisam wa obedi mu asam ne jimisam no emra no ni wundi ni per na enyense na ho emwa NDC for so besua say na no asimasi ko di nkwasi asam no ye cheni tum wo ye NDC na so abato time so na so kofa twisi kan wo nua ko twi abade bo obi tirim ko twa obi sikan ne ho ade ye be chi watum we are resetting Ghana abusha aha PENDREAM TV 31st ye nyina ye be kwa akofe so ye be ba ne ye de ho ayi ade abramo abusha said the mekano but modern so subscribe to this channel and the PENDREAM TV subscribe button no and the word form on setting faso down on red koko mesro fans team so eboa na epushi ejuma no enkonenim emayen ane PENDREAM TV mesro say obe like video no share na afoforo so enya bi enhwe wadwe nkyere so ehu bi hia pa e comment section no ase PENDREAM TV Adam Yopo.
Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de ose Adam Yopo.